Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Individual Tower Series. Today we're going to talk about the fantastic little buddy here called the Monkey Apprentice, which I'm going to call the Wizard just because I like it and it sounds better. The Wizard. The hotkey is H, so if you're going to build a bunch of wizards, just cha. Or you could obviously Shift hotkey. Nobody really knows about that. You can hold down the shift button and build billions of them. So now we get tons of wizards all over the place. Oh my goodness gracious. Also keep in mind that this is all opinion, so if you don't like my opinion, go down in the comments down there and try and explain it to the other people why you think I'm absolutely wrong and an idiot. Because that does seem to happen quite often lately. Alright, so what do I think of the wizard? First of all, do I like the wizard? I personally am not a huge fan of the wizard. I feel like it has too many weaknesses. Overall, there's just better towers to use, and I technically just really don't enjoy it that much. I mean, is it bad? No, just not my favorite tower to use. Now that we have a wizard, where the heck do you put a wizard? Well, normally you want to put him in sort of in a dart monkey-ish spot. You usually want to keep him in a spot where he's going to attack multiple places. Sometimes in the middle of the map, because that can work also, but I usually would put him somewhere kind of like, you know what, if you guys remember the first episode, I put a dart monkey right here, because I thought, you know, it's going to attack right here, and it's going to attack on the way back around, so I would probably put the wizard in a similar spot. Something like this, maybe. Or maybe something like this, because it is going to attack 1, 2, and 3 spots. Or even, you know what, because you know the wizards are usually good versus the balloons that pop out. So maybe even put him in a place something like this, because you're going to attack 1 spot right here, 1 spot right there, and another spot over here. But not the most effective thing. I think, you know what, one of those 2 spots is probably just a little bit better. If we're just talking about wizards, why do we put them there? Yeah, the most spots is probably the best way to do it. So let's talk about the upgrades. Yeah, alright. So the upgrades for the wizards are kind of just like build whatever the heck you want. That's kind of how it works. The things about the cool thing about the wizards are that every single upgrade is just so different from another. Where the darts is just like, add another dart. Add more popping power. Shoot 3 darts. Oh yeah, dart, dart, dart. Where this is kind of cool because it's like, oh, you shoot an intense magic. Oh, you shoot an explosion. Oh, you shoot lightning that attacks all over the map. Oh, and then we increase it to fires. Now we're shooting fire and explosions and all this cool stuff. And that's why the wizard is kind of cool. It's just like interesting, all the random things that he shoots out. And even when we get up to the 4th tier, he gets a giant phoenix that comes out and starts rolling around in a giant circle and exploding and firing all the balloons. So that's pretty darn cool. Now, what would win in a fight? I would definitely want to hear this from you guys. What would win in a fight? A dragon or a phoenix? That is a cool topic. That's an absolutely cool... I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see a dragon and a phoenix. If they both existed and then they could fight. Similar sizes. Yeah, just pretend. Similar sizes, whatever you think they would use in their arsenal. I think, honestly, a dragon would probably take it just because it's got the scales. Whereas a phoenix, it seems like it's going to be faster and quicker, but it just, like, doesn't have any armor. Okay, let's get back to the wizard. I need to stop talking about that stuff. In fact, I'm going to ask that on my Facebook stuff. I'm going to ask that right now. I am. Absolutely. So, left-sided upgrade first. This is the intense magic. Oh, well, let's talk about the 0-0 wizard. Is the 0-0 wizard good? Absolutely not. Do not ever get a 0-0 wizard. Just plan on using him as popping power. Do not do it. It's not good. He's very expensive, and he only shoots out and pops 2 balloons per shot. It's absolutely awful. You got blue balloons coming on through here. He's not going to do anything versus them. It's just going to be like, oh, and he's really slow, and it's just not effective. It only goes through 2 of them. It only goes in a straight line. Not good at all. You're better off going with a ninja, because that's going to pop 2, and then you can get a lot of good upgrades right after that, or just spam a few dart monkeys. Definitely. But then once you get intense magic, well, now this is a little bit different of a story, because now what I can do is technically I could, if I was just using an intense magic, which I don't normally use, I just want to build him here just for an example. Build him on intense magic, you put him on last, and then you got massive quantities of blue balloons coming out. And then look at this intense magic. I mean, no, it doesn't do a lot of popping power, but yeah, it does do a lot more. It looks like it does, I don't even know, what is that, like 6 poppings or something? 1, 2, yeah, somewhere around 6. Somewhere around 6 to 8 poppings per intense magic, which isn't really that bad. But then also you can increase to the fireball. Ooh. So if we get the fireball after that, that's the right-sided upgrade. So now we have to think about it using a 1-1 wizard. Now it actually has 2 different attacks that it can use. Oh, that's not something we see very often. 2 different attacks that a tower can use at the same time. Interesting. And that's why the wizard's kind of cool. Now he's got intense magic and he shoots out a giant explosion every once in a while. It's pretty cool too. Now it seems like the intense magic just gets shot out a lot faster than the explosion. So you have to keep that in mind when you're thinking about this guy. Even though it's really like that, I mean, It's up to you whether you want to see the 2 attacks like that or what you want to actually do. Now, I do have to mention something really quick. When I'm building the wizard, what I would normally do is if I'm using a low-level wizard, I'd probably go with the fireball first. And the reason for that is because then I have 2 attacks. So now I have 2 attacks. I have my regular shot and my explosion shot. Not the best thing in the entire world for a wizard, but hey, it's not that bad. And then after that, I would go with the intense magic, because he still has 2 attacks. It's just the 1 attack it's a little bit stronger. And that's why I go for the fireball first, just because it has 2 attacks. That's pretty much what I'm thinking. Now, beyond that, we have 2 other cool upgrades here. Now, this is probably the most famous upgrade for the wizard, is the Lightning Bolt. Unleash a power of lightning to zap many balloons at once. Now, this is the cool part about the wizard, is then when he gets some sort of lightning bolt. This is where you want to put him kind of close to the middle of the map, as if you're planning on getting a lightning wizard. So we're going to set out a bunch of random balloons in here. He also doesn't have very many weaknesses, and that's probably his best aspect to him, is he can pop through ledge with every single thing that he shoots, including the lightning, which doesn't really make much sense to me, but it can. And then he can just do a decent job versus all these balloons. Camos, he can get the camo upgrade on the other side here. But sadly enough, it's just he doesn't get enough popping power out of his money. I mean, like, you spend a lot of money and you don't get a lot of popping power out of it. What is he good for? Not really that much. Now, there is a couple good things that he is good for. For example, you know how you use like a 3-0 boomerang to get rid of a lot of black balloons, and then have a 3-0 cannon right next to it, so you can just have the 3-0 cannon pop everything that isn't a black or zebra? That's kind of how the wizard can be used as well. He can be used like that, get the lightning up, and then he'll pop a lot of those black balloons and let the cannon do all the work. That's something that you can think about using him as. But other than that, the lightning is usually just a little too expensive for how good it is. It just doesn't shoot fast enough. It's just not that great. Now, keep in mind that the wizard also does have 3 things that it shoots. Interesting. Shoots 3 things at once. That's cool. But still not the most effective thing in the entire world. But we can also get the monkey sense, which is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to get camo detection, you get the monkey sense. It's okay. It's only $300. If you got a high-level lightning wizard, why the heck not get the monkey sense? That's the way it usually works. But definitely not the best camo detection in the entire world either. If you have something like a level, I don't know. Let's pretend level 37 just came out, and we got a bunch of, I think they're blacks. I think it's 8 blacks that come out against them. And let's see if he can take them down. I don't even know. Level 37, it looks like he's doing a pretty darn good job. And he does indeed take them all down. But sadly enough, once we get to the rainbows that come out, there's, I think, 5 rainbows that come out kind of spaced like this on level 42. There's no way we're going to be able to take these guys down. Absolutely not. They're probably even closer to that together than that. But you can tell he does a decent amount of popping power, but still it's not accurate. It's just not accurate. It's not good overall for what you usually want to get him as. And then against balloons is even worse. So now let's move on to the 3rd tier upgrades. This is where it gets kind of interesting because quite obviously the wizard can be very magical in different ways. You can go with either this bad boy right here, the Dragon's Breath, or you can go with the Summon Whirlwind. Positioning is going to be important for both of these because the Dragon's Breath is probably going to be used closer to the front, probably more for Moab popping power, or maybe even in the middle for a mixture of Moab and balloon popping power. And the Whirlwind is usually going to be used closer to the end of the map, or closer to maybe the middle-ish end of the map, so we can shoot back a lot of those ceramics and or other balloons that pop out of the Moabs. And that's what the Whirlwind can be used surprisingly good for. Now, one sad thing is that the Lightning Wizard actually almost makes him kind of worse. If you get the Lightning in the mixture with the Summon Whirlwind, you're going to start popping a lot of those balloons, which is not usually exactly what you want to do. You kind of want to just send them back and let your other towers deal with them. But if you're popping a bunch of these things, then the Whirlwind doesn't exactly send back all the strong balloons. He only sends back the really weak balloons. He's not as great as he could be. So positioning, definitely important for these guys. Now, I think this is a pretty decent spot for a Dragon's Breath. You got him, still a good attack front up here. You got a decent attack spot that's, like, still in the middle of the map. And then back here, you got a pretty nice spot. Now, on this map, there's really not very many good spots for a Whirlwind. But if I was going to use a Whirlwind, I'd probably put him right around here. Right around there, I'd put him on this, and I'd keep him on strong. And then I'd just do something like that. And then I feel like we can deal with a lot of... Probably deal with them. I don't know. We probably can't deal with a Moab, can we? It'll be close. We'll see. It depends how good the Fire Mage is versus Moab. And it looks like he's not going to be able to handle it. Alright, let's get one of these. Well, let's get another Fire Mage over here. Take care of this Moab, and let's see how well this... Oh man, those Fire Mages are not doing good against that at all. But as you can tell, look at that Tornado go. That Tornado just sent all those guys back. And you know what? Maybe we'll do it again. He's also still on strong. So now we're telling... Now you can see the fact that the other balloons get in the way. When we had just ceramics coming out, he sent all 4 of them back very, very easily. But now it's not quite the same scenario. Still did do a pretty darn good job, and we took them all down. But definitely just different upgrades. Now let's talk about the 4th tier upgrades. Well, here's the Tempest Tornado. Blows more balloons faster, further, and more often. Also pops balloons once before blowing. Removes ice and glue from balloons. So that is one thing that you have to keep in mind when you have the tornadoes, is they do remove the ice and the glue. So if you have them next to an ice tower right here that just got glued, maybe it's not the best thing to use. And I honestly believe that the glue gunner and the ice tower together are probably a lot better than just the Tempest Tornado by itself, or even in combination with these two. You don't even really need the Tempest Tornado if you already got these two. And that's just probably your better bet, is, you know, this guy's only $6,000 to get this upgrade. This guy's only about, you know, $8,000 altogether. And just $8,000 for the upgrade just for the Tempest Tornado. Is it worth it? I would say no. I would say no. Just don't get it. You know, there's better towers to get, and that's usually the way I think about things. Same with the Summoning Phoenix. It's only $5,000. Not very expensive. It actually got buffed because it used to be $8,000. Now it's only $5,000. It does not make the Fire Mage any better. The Fire Mage is still kind of a weak guy. You know, you'd much prefer a Super Monkey, in my opinion, than a Fire Mage. And the reason being is that this Fire Mage is better than a Super Monkey. And the reason for that is the fact that, well, here, the Fire Mage is better than the Super Monkey, but at the same time, there's no room for improvement on a Fire Mage. There is room for improvement on a Super Monkey, and that's why you usually want to get that. It's kind of like if you're at a job where you're making $20 an hour, and there's no room for improvement. You're like, well, I'm stuck at $20 forever. Or you can start at a company where you make $18 an hour. Not too bad, but there is room for improvement, and maybe in 25 years you can make $40 an hour, and that's kind of how the Super Monkey is. You'll get a lot better, a lot faster. Hopefully that was a good explanation. I don't know, I felt like that was an excellent explanation. Alright, but let's show you that Summon Phoenix really quick. Now we got a Fire Mage in here who can't deal with these Moabs at all, but we got this beautiful little Phoenix guy over here taking down these Moabs. He does a lot more damage than the Fire Mage itself. And it looks like he's going to do a pretty darn good job over here. But, you know what's actually going to take the cake here is the Glue Gunner and the Ice Tower. Oh, yes, of course. This actually isn't even a good Ice Tower. I should have gotten him up to the higher upgrades, and then he's a lot better. But it's okay. We still did take them down. And we did a pretty solid job against them. So just to recap really quick, this was a pretty interesting video, I think. I don't like the Wizard. I don't like him. I can't use him very often. So, to recap, if you're going to use the Wizards, honestly, if you're going to use them in a cool way, spam the heck out of 0 or 1-1 Wizards. Just spam the crap out of 1-1 Wizards, and you can do a decent job. You'd be surprised at how well these guys can work. Just get a bunch of these guys, and you're going to be taking down Moabs and stuff pretty darn fast. Or even just a lot of ceramics. You know, you might be surprised to see that you can take down some ceramics with these guys. But they actually do a pretty darn decent job versus these ceramics. Look at that. Check that out. That's not amazing, but that's pretty darn solid. That's pretty darn solid work from these guys. Also, probably shouldn't even use the Glue Gunner. Probably should have got rid of him a little bit earlier. Then, once you get to the second tier upgrade, the Lightning, stay away from it. Don't go for it. Not a good upgrade. Too much money. Not enough popping power. If you got a Wizard already, I guess go ahead and use it, but like, it's just get something else, guys. Get a Ninja, get a Boomerang, get a Tack Shooter, get something else. It's going to be better off for you. Or just save up for something cool. Then once you move up to the third tier upgrades, you got the Fire Mage versus the Tornado. They're both good for different things, so you can't really compare them very well. I would say that the Fire Mage is not something you usually want to get. He's just not strong enough. Overall, he's just not good versus Balloons. He's not good versus Moabs. He's just not good enough. Tornado, if you use him in the correct way, he can be used fairly effectively. It's just kind of hard to use him the right way, and you're probably better off just going with some other stuff. And that's why I think the Wizard, again, is just, like, not the best thing. Do I hate the Wizard? No, but personal opinion says that the Wizard's not good. I've played with this game a bunch, and I've just noticed that the Wizard has no good ways to be used. Once you get to the fourth tiers, it's kind of the same way. You know, you got the Phoenix upgrade, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely a cool upgrade, just not that effective, even for balloon pop power and all that stuff, and just not worth it in general. You'd better off saving up for something cooler, you know, maybe even starting to get a Super Monkey or something like that. And then the Tempest Tornado, again, is just not that great. The TT, the second TT, the Tempest Tornado. Never thought about that. Technological Terror, Tempest Tornado. This guy, just even though he's kind of cool looking wizard-like, he can set a lot of balloons back. He's just too expensive for what he's worth. Just too expensive. Anyways, that's all I'm going to have for you guys today. So as always, thanks for watching and have a super duper delicious day. Hey there guys, I'm Super John Bumbo, also known as Chris. Hopefully you enjoyed the videos. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, like, or favorite any of them that you want to. Also, we've got a bunch of other cool videos here if you want to check them out. We got just a random video, we got Bloons Monkey City, or if you want to check out Random Knot series, those are personally my favorite videos to make. Also, we got a new channel here called Super Science, so if you haven't checked out any of my science videos and you just want to learn something, go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching guys, and have a super duper delicious day.